Okay, we're on YouTube.
Okay.
Ready, Judge.
Okay, so the court will take up cause number 538537, the state of Texas versus Irving Bettis. Can I have the attorneys identify themselves for the record, please?
Yes, Judge. Catherine Pollard for the state.
And Javier Garcia for Mr. Irving Bettis, and Mr. Shannon Locke is the attorney of record, and I'm his associate attorney, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Bettis, can you hear the proceedings?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
I have in front of me the state's consent to a video conference. So the state is consenting to conduct this hearing via Zoom, which is what we're doing right now. Can I go on to the next document, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And then, of course, in front of me is a discovery acknowledgement whereby the state has indicated what discovery items they have turned over. And counsel, are you satisfied with the discovery that was provided by the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And in front of me, I have now the defendant consent video conference in which Mr. Bettis, you also consented to proceeding via the Zoom hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Bettis, I think this will work better if you keep your mic turned off until when you have to answer a question, turn your mic on at that point, because otherwise there's a lot of background noise and the court reporter won't be able to hear what she needs to take down.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at the defendant's waiver of constitutional rights and admonitions. First of all, Mr. Bettis, I want to discuss the fact that you are charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, that offense is a Class A misdemeanor. And so the range of punishment is up to a $4,000 fine and up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. Do you understand that that is the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
You have several rights. You have the right to a jury trial. You have the right to require the state to bring their witnesses in and prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have your attorney cross-examine those witnesses, and you have the right against self-incrimination, which means that no one can force you to testify against yourself. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor. I understand.
All right. And did your attorney explain those rights to you?
Yes.
And then did he go over the paperwork with you that contains those rights?
Yes, Your Honor, he did.
And then did you in fact sign that paperwork?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand that when you signed the paperwork that the effect of your signature was that you were giving up the rights that I just went over with you?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
And is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then I'll approve the waiver and order it entered into the record of the cause. I understand that you have entered into a plea agreement with the state. I need you to know, first of all, that the court does not have to follow the agreement, but if the court chooses not to, then you can withdraw your plea, start all over, and nothing that you've done so far can be held against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
All right. Also, if the court does follow the agreement, then you will not have the right to appeal, except for any pretrial matters that have been ruled on by the court. And counsel, were there any rulings on any pretrial motions?
No, Your Honor.
So that means that if the court follows the agreement, you will not have the right to appeal unless the court gives permission, but generally the court will not give permission. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, understood.
So let's review the terms of the plea agreement. State, would you mind setting out what the terms of the plea agreement are, please?
Judge, the agreement in this case is a $4,000 fine plus court cost, 129 days Bear County Jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and that would satisfy the judgment.
All right. Mr. Pettis, was that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes. Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. Counsel, was that your understanding as well?
Yes, Your Honor. And just to advise the court that Mr. Bettis had a felony which he took a plea on. The cause number is 2019 CR 11152. And per that agreement, which is going to be sentenced a couple of days from now, he was required to take a plea of this misdemeanor offense.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Pettis, if you were not a citizen of the United States, by entering a plea of guilty or no contest, it could result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Have those immigration consequences been explained to you by your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And counsel, has your client been able to consult with you and assist you in his defense?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
And in your opinion, does he have a factual as well as rational understanding of the charge and the proceedings against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in your opinion, is he mentally competent to waive his rights and to enter a plea at this time?
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right. In that case, Mr. Bettis, to the charge of driving while intoxicated second, how do you plead?
Guilty, ma'am.
Have you been promised anything other than the terms of the plea agreement to get you to enter your plea of guilty?
No, ma'am.
Have you been threatened or coerced in any way to get you to enter your plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then I'll accept the plea of guilty. And based on your plea of guilty, I'm going to find that the evidence is sufficient. Are both sides, and I'm going to enter a finding of guilt. Are both sides ready to proceed to sentencing at this time on this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes,
Okay, thank you, State. Mr. Pettis, I will follow the plea agreement and cause number 538537 and assess punishment at a $4,000 fine plus court costs and 129 days in the Bear County Jail. Time and money will run concurrent. You will be given credit for time served and the judgment will be satisfied. And I know that we're going to take up a second case. Is that also the charge on that DWI second, or it is a second?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge.
Okay. And are these sentences to run concurrent with each other?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so
As well as with the felony.
okay, so I just want the record to reflect that we are taking another plea and then handling an MTR, and whatever the outcome of those are, they will run concurrent with each other as well as concurrent with the felony.
Thank
All
you.
right. The next cause number that we're taking up then is 614221 of the state of Texas versus Irving Bettis. Once again, in front of me, I've got the state's consent to video conference as well as the defense's consent to video conferencing. So there was no objection from anyone with regard to proceeding on this Zoom. Is that correct?
Correct on the defense, Your Honor.
That's
As
correct,
well as-
Judge.
All right. And as Mr. Pettis, you had no objection either. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. No
right.
objection.
Okay, thank you. Looking at the discovery acknowledgement, so counsel, you were satisfied with a discovery that was turned over by the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Pettis, I'm just going to quickly run through the rights that it'll be essentially the same as what we just did. On a DWI second, it's a Class A misdemeanor, so the range of punishment is up to a $4,000 fine, up to 1 year in the Bear County Jail, and you understand that, right?
Yes, Your Honor. Understood.
Once again, you have several rights. You have the right to a jury trial. You have the right to require the state to call their witnesses in and prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have your attorney cross-examine those witnesses, and you have the right against self-incrimination, which means that no one can force you to testify against yourself. And you understand those rights. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
and your attorney explained them to you and went over the paperwork with you. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. He did.
And then you did in fact sign the paperwork?
Yes, I did.
All right. And did you understand that when you signed there that the effect of your signature was that you were giving up the rights that I just went over with you?
Yes, Your Honor. Understood.
All right. And that's what you wanted to do. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Attached to the court's admonishments is the plea bargain page. It indicates that you did enter into a plea agreement with the state. Once again, I don't have to follow it, but if I choose not to, then you could withdraw your plea, start all over, and nothing that you've done could be held against you. Furthermore, if I do follow the agreement, then you will not have the right to appeal except for any pretrial matters that were ruled on by the court. And counsel, were there any pretrial rulings on this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Pettis, that means if I follow the agreement, you will not have the right to appeal unless the court gives permission, but generally the court will not give permission. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. Understood.
Thank you. State, would you mind setting out what the terms of the plea agreement were, please?
Yes, Judge, the agreement on this case is a $4,000 fine plus court costs, 127 days Bexar County Jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and that would satisfy the judgment.
All right. Mr. Pettis, was that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And counsel, was that your understanding as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I've already admonished you with regard to the consequences of entering a plea if you are not a citizen, but you are a citizen. Is that correct? All right.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a citizen.
And counsel, has your client been able to consult with you and assist you in his defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in your opinion, is he competent to enter a plea at this time?
I believe he is, Your Honor.
All right. In that case, Mr. Pettis, in this cause number to the charge of driving while intoxicated, second, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And have you been promised anything other than the terms of the plea agreement to get you to enter your plea of guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Have you been threatened or coerced in any way to get you to enter your plea?
No, ma'am.
You're pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason. Is that
Okay. Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
I'll accept the plea of guilty, and based on your plea of guilty, I'll find that the evidence is sufficient and I'll enter a finding of guilt. Are both sides ready to proceed to sentencing in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Pettis, I will follow the plea agreement that you've entered into with the state and assess punishment at a $4,000 fine plus court costs, 127 days in the Bexar County Jail. Time and money will run concurrent. You'll be given credit for time served. The judgment will be satisfied. This case will run concurrent with the other cases. Is there anything further on this matter?
No, Your Honor, not from the defense.
Nothing further from the state judge.
All right, very well. So the next thing then, I guess, is the MTR. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Yes, in front of me once again, Mr. Pettis, you'll see in each case, this has to be part of the paperwork, the fact that all parties consented to doing this plea by video conference. All right. Let's proceed. And so that's the defendant's consent right there. Oh, and Patty, since we're doing the MTR, I checked off the wrong one there. I didn't realize that was the MTR when I was looking at it. So we may have to redo that one to indicate that on a motion to revoke, they do have a right to appeal if they are revoked.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there a copy of the motion to revoke?
I don't have that, Your Honor. I think Ms. Luna?
Yes, I have it. I gave it to the ADA and to Mr. Garcia, the
Yes,
attorney.
Judge, I have a copy of it.
That's correct.
Someone
Did-
get one.
Did you want me to share that, Judge?
Yeah, I need to look at it so I can see what it,
Marty, can you send it to me?
Yes,
Thank you.
uh-huh. Okay, Patty, I did. It's an MTR and then an amended MTR as well.
Which one did you want to see first, Judge?
well, it depends on what they're proceeding on. If they're proceeding on a violation that's on the original one, then I can just look at that one. But if they're proceeding on the amended, then I need to look at that one.
Judge, we are proceeding on a violation from the original. It's going to be condition number 15.
Okay, so that one, Patty, then the original one. Thank you.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to proceed now on cause number 464870, the state of Texas versus Irving Perez. And Mr. Perez, are you the same Irving Perez in that cause number that was found guilty of the offense of driving while intoxicated? And you were placed on probation by the court on the 23rd day of May, 2016 for a term of 1 year. Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. A motion to revoke your community supervision has been filed. It alleges that you it has several violations, but the state is proceeding on the violation of condition number 15, which alleges that on or about the 26th day of July, 2016 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Irving Perez did then and there fail to register for/attend a DWI victim impact panel with the approved agency. And to that violation of condition number 15, how do you plead? True or not true?
Yes, Your Honor, it's true.
All right. I need you to understand that based on your plea of true alone, that would be sufficient for me to revoke your community supervision. And State, could you tell me what the underlying sentence was in this case?
Judge, I believe the underlying sentence in this case was, give me 1 second. to pull it
Okay.
up. Judge, it was 180 days.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Pettis, you could receive, based on your plea of true, 180 days in the Bexar County Jail. Do you understand that that's what could happen to you here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and understanding that, then do you still wish to enter your plea of true?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Keep breaking up. Yes, Your Honor.
Is there an agreement? State,
Yes.
was there?
Yes,
Okay.
Judge, the agreement is a $0 fine plus court costs, 21 days Bexar County Jail, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and that would satisfy the judgment.
Was that the agreement, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Pettis, was that your understanding of what was going to happen?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go along with that, and I'm going to find it's true that you violated condition number 15 and revoke your community supervision, assess punishment at 21 days. Well, 0 fine plus court costs, 21 days in the Bexar County Jail. Time and money will run concurrent. You'll be given credit for time served, and the judgment will be satisfied. Is there anything further on this matter?
Not from the defense, Your Honor.
Anything further from the state judge?
All right, very well. Good luck to you, Mr. Pettis.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.